Welcome to Stay Sparked. On this show, we explore how to stay inspired in the modern world through the most profound lessons from Burning Man, relationships, entrepreneurship, psychedelics, spirituality, travel, and more.
Today on Stay Sparked, it's festival season, and we've got the hacks for packing and travel, food, how to manage your health, and how best to participate and engage with your community of fellow festival goers. Enjoy the episode.
Welcome to Stay Sparked. We are three friends here to share conversations aimed to inspire and light you up. Thank you so much for listening. And if you've been enjoying these conversations, we deeply appreciate you leaving us a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. And please share to help spread the sparks of inspiration. I'm Betsy.
I'm Halcyon.
And I'm Janus.
I am a holistic healing arts practitioner and the founder of the Power Affirmation Project, inspiring life skills for sustainable happiness.
I am a lifestyle artist who has been sharing his life publicly online for over 2 decades. You can follow my journey and wisdom on hugnation.com.
And I am the founder and CEO of New World Nutritionals, a nutritional supplement company with mushroom-based products designed to improve your state of mind.
All three of us are also burners. We have been to Burning Man many years, and we have been in the festival culture for quite some time. And we love sharing topics that inspire festival life. And so on today's conversation, we wanted to talk about festival hacks. What are some things that we can do to enhance our experience, whether that's through packing, travel, food, health, participation, ways that we can just continue to refine our experience. As longtime burners, I'm sure we probably all have picked up some things that work and also gotten some learning from the things that don't work. And so love to dive into that with you guys today. And before we start, love to make sure that we always start with our gratitudes. So why don't we start with you, Halcyon? What are you grateful for today?
I am grateful for a daybreaker dance party that I went to this weekend. It's a sober morning dance event, and I was so encouraged by the vibe that was created. I was a little nervous about an experience that would be different and doing it, without the traditional crutches of a little buzz. But very quickly, the way that they created and crafted this environment, I sank into it. I boogied my butt off, met cool people, and just really pleased by a new experience and to see fellow humans really bringing a sparked vibe in different ways. I'm super grateful for it.
Amazing. Daybreaker, early morning sunrise dance party. So beautiful. How about you, Janus?
Nice.
What are you for today?
I am grateful for having a clean house, having a clean home today. My partner and I were pretty busy over the last week, so things have gotten a little unkempt, shall we say. So I spent a good part of yesterday just like dusting, vacuuming, wiping things down, and doing all the laundry and everything else, and waking up today to a much cleaner home was nice. It was kind of like I've forgotten, I kind of just woke up, was doing my thing. I was like, and as soon as I walked out, I was like, oh wow, everything's nice. I'm like, oh yeah, I spent all day yesterday doing that, and it's like so it was a good way to start the day. So thankful for having a clean spot.
Spring cleaning. So
spring cleaning, indeed.
Awesome. Well, I'll share my gratitude is I am just coming off of an incredible weekend at a regional burn in South Carolina near Charleston. It was called Emergence Burn, and it was absolutely incredible. The place that it was held was where there's two lakes and these giant angel oak trees with Spanish moss hanging down, and there was this beautiful setup with the stage and just incredible people mostly from this area, which I have primarily been a West Coast festival goer. And so this was one of my first East Coast festivals. And I just loved every bit of it. I'm so grateful that I put forth the effort to fly out here and get to travel to a new experience. And so just really sending so much love and gratitude, especially to one of my dear friends. Many of you might know Vibes. It was his event and he was the catalyst for me to go. So really grateful for the expanded soul family and burner family.
Nice.
Nice.
How nice that we get to use your festy energy as we go into this topic.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know, the afterglow, right? After coming off of a weekend festival, there's this like, yeah, little afterglow that continues on. I feel so inspired.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that we're getting to talk about this today.
Yeah, just the season for the festivals. They're just getting underway. Like really March and April is kind of like the start because the weather's starting to like improve a bit so we can be outside without the fear of cold or rain and such. So yeah, now's the time.
Hmm.
And speaking of now's the time, I think one of my favorite hacks that I ever was given or advice was that your journey begins the minute you decide to go. So, as you are doing your packing, as you are putting together your plan and your travel, that it's easy to get so focused on the destination that you can get frustrated or whatever. But if you can kind of remember that you're in it, the adventure has begun. I think that can really
Mhm.
help all of it become the growth process can be a part of it from starting now.
Absolutely. So what I wanted to ask Betsy is there's a difference between when you're okay. So when we're okay, I'm going to the festival. So there's a difference though if I'm going to be driving a few hours or if I'm going to be flying cross country. So what can you explain the difference or in like your process and what was different for you to like prepare for a festival that you were getting on a plane for as opposed to something you could load up the car for? Like how did you streamline that process for yourself?
Oh yeah, that's a lot of learning because this was my first time doing it, and I know a lot of people do it, and there's many different ways of doing it. For me, I'm really, really grateful to have had some connections out here in the Carolinas to be able to strategize with. So that made a huge difference for my packing because I didn't have to pack a tent or any of the camping gear because my friends out here were willing to share the camping gear. So that made a huge, huge difference. And I would say, actually, I'm going to infuse two sparks here around that topic because the packing process is, done differently by everybody. And I am the type of person that has learned to begin early because otherwise, if I wait to the last minute, then I feel really stressed. And I was talking to a friend actually out here because I got here a week early. I was like, "Oh, hey, have you started packing?" And he was like, "No, I usually wait till the day before and I like, get everything last minute and then I'm like super stressed and then I finally get there, Like, "Oh, how's that working out for you?" It's like, one of these days I'm going to change." And so we were talking about it and one of the things I've learned to do is that yeah, in that decision to go, I put a box out in my house. And even though I'm going to be still working and tending to my regular life things, I have that box so that way I can slowly start putting things in it because my mental process, I start thinking about all the things I want to bring. And then I have this internal checklist that just gets a little overwhelming in my head. And so I just will put one thing in at a time. And then when it's time, like the day or two before, to go, then I have this box full of stuff. Then I can really start to decide, are these essentials or are these, things that I can let go of. One word that came through is the necessary. Necessaries are a really important thing, right? Is it really necessary or is it just an accessory or is it a necessary, right? And so finding ways to be able to pack efficiently with the things that are going to be useful and also fun and adorn us. That's one of the things that I like to think of when I'm packing. And then what I learned on this trip, actually, less is more. I feel like I always learn that even when I drive, but I flew here and I I ended up bringing way too many things. And what I did at the festival, I was like, wow, I brought so many things that I'm not going to use. I'm going to try and use at least everything I brought for at least 1 minute. Like I had a few extra outfits I didn't end up wearing. And when I was getting ready with one of my friends, I was like, I'm going to put this rainbow outfit on for 5 minutes, even though I'm not going to wear it the rest of the time, just so that way I actually feel like I used everything.
Well, that's funny. Yeah. A friend of mine mentioned years ago, and I only ended up doing it like one time, but I definitely saw the value in it. She would go for going, and this is would work for like flying as well, but going to a festival, she had a decent sized car, but she made a rule for herself that she had 4 boxes of varying sizes. She's like, if I can't put it in these 4 boxes, then it's not coming. And she had room for more in her vehicle, but she's like, but then I end up bringing everything, and half the stuff I don't use. And so she just kind of made a rule for herself. All right, these 4 various size boxes, fill the boxes. If it doesn't fit in the box, any of these boxes, then it's not coming. And she said the first time she did it, it worked like a charm, and she's done it ever since.
That is crazy talk.
So,
that is, to me, that's like hearing that the world is flat to me. Like if I have room for another thing, I bring basically, one reason I love
coming.
Bringing my my Hugmobile motorhome is that it's like I have 24 years of accumulated Burning Man clothes, and I bring most of it when I can, because I don't. But I want to touch on the travel via plane, because I think that is a really interesting challenge and topic, especially within 10 principles. When you have like radical self-reliance, I think that really has to be massaged when you think about traveling abroad, especially. Like I went to Blazing Swan, which is the Western Australia regional burn, and to truly be self-sufficient at something you have to fly to requires an insane amount of unnecessary purchasing, and so I think that radical self-reliance, when it comes to flying, part of your reliance is building relationships with people that you can rely on. And that is whether you can borrow things, or you can help with them, or they can help you find things, because really, if you have to be radically self-reliant and you need to bring everything, that's not going to work. You can't do that in suitcases, and it's so wasteful to buy it. But if you can partner with friends or a theme camp, or even, and I think that I found that people are pretty receptive. If you find an online community and you say I'm flying in, it's often an easier way to find people.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that point too. And it is radical self-reliance, and it's also community, right? And so when we work together, then we can create this really beautiful experience. And I know for me, I have these 2 friends that were like, we have all the camping gear, we have everything that you need. That made me start thinking about other ways that I can contribute. And so it's like, okay, well, if they're bringing all this other stuff, I want to make sure that I'm showing up in the best way that I can to, like I love feeding people. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to make these really delicious things to feed people. Also going to bring other ways like massage people, or, acts of service, to be able to balance out the contributions, because that's where it feels like that's when we're working together. Right. So that's one thing that's really valuable. And then also to speak to that unnecessary purchasing, one of the things I learned on this is that I realized I couldn't pack festival boots because, I'm flying and there's, a certain amount of footwear. So I ended up going to a thrift store and finding a pair of boots that I could wear to the festival. And then before I leave, I'm actually giving them to a friend. And so it kind of works out perfectly that I was able to, find what I needed at a thrift store. There's so much abundance in the world. You can really find what you need wherever you go, unless you're going some crazy remote place. But thank goodness for thrift stores and for other people that are, passing things on. I actually learned too. I should have packed space in my suitcase. Out here, I'm like, wait, I got more stuff. Shoot. So now I'm gonna have to get rid of the stuff to be able to fly home.
Right. That's something that could be done when we're flying, is like you guys mentioned, to reach out via online to either the organizers or the attendees and be like, hey, I'm coming from out of town, and this is what I'm kind of looking for, since I can't really pack anything. You can get hooked up that way. And conversely, you can also reach out to these same people and be like, okay, where can I donate this stuff? Like, even if you have to like purchase stuff, you can get, cheap camping gear, or, thrifty clothes or whatever, and you don't necessarily have to bring it back with you. So you can find people that you can donate that to. A lot of festival organizers have some sort of setup, like if you want to donate a tent or tarps or whatever that you might need to acquire, you don't necessarily have to bring it back with you. You just got to think a little bit outside the box with this stuff, but you can usually make it happen when you tap into the community that's involved.
Mm-hmm.
Another little hack for travel and by plane that I did when I went to Love Burn, which is the Florida burn. At one time I went, wasn't able to secure everything I needed in advance through friends. So I went through Southwest. So I had 2 pieces of luggage, and one, I had my cooler and I had a sleeping bag inside my cooler. And then I arrived at the airport, went straight to a grocery store, filled my cooler, and, took the Uber directly to the event. But it's definitely, way easier to say who's got an extra. Although I will say, just if someone has an extra cooler or an extra XYZ, it's probably not the best one. So you got to be willing to deal with the one that they don't want to use.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the whole beggars can't be choosers thing. So it's like you
Right.
got to be, you got to have a smile on your face if you're borrowing somebody's cooler, and it's like, okay, or they're borrowing somebody's tent, and it's like, oh yeah, it's missing a pole, but it's yours. It's like, huh,
Right.
Great.
thanks,
Let's figure it out.
thanks, yeah. So let's go out hunting and bring your machete to hack some sticks down with when you get there.
Totally. I think it's really such a cool thing that what burners do is have this global network. It's really amazing. I know personally, and I've talked to so many people that are like, wow, I met another burner and they don't even know me and they offered to support me in this way, right? So I talked to someone this weekend that said that he went to an Aussie burn, flew there, and put a message out on the Facebook page about it, and had someone offer their place to stay for free, just because they're burners, right? Burners look out for burners. There's this like commonality, and I feel like it's beyond festival culture too, like whether that's like a yoga community or a hooping community or a surfer community. When there's this like common bond, there's this really beautiful support that we offer each other, and I think that's one of the greatest gifts when we're going far beyond our hometown. And I know personally, if another burner comes into my town, then I want to meet them and I want to support them also. It's really just this cool opportunity to share and bring those 10 principles outside of the festival.
Right, because ideally, if they are burners, they are embracing radical self-reliance and gifting. And so if you're doing that throughout your life, then you probably are someone that wants to be doing that for others that are doing that. I mean, you want to do it for everybody, but especially other people that are doing it. So it's important, I think, to try to embrace that, so that when you're in a situation where you need to receive, it all works out. Like, you don't want to be the person that shows up knowing that people are going to take care of you. You do want to be the person that that has built up enough, trust and relationships, and participate enough in the community that it feels good to receive and know that you are part of this kind of ecosystem.
No sparkle ponies.
They have their place, but yeah, it's yeah, you definitely want to be the show up in the ways that people will appreciate, the masses will appreciate. So one other thing that I started doing, towards the about their midpoint, the smaller festivals in particular, the ones where you're just like where you're kind of camping with friends, and then there's like a food court. So any place that is like providing food, which is what a lot of these smaller festivals will do. What I started doing was just being like, I'm just going to eat the food that's there. I would pack a few snacks for myself, because I don't always want to have to walk back and forth with the food, and I kind of want what I want when I want it. So things like, I'll have a means to make hot water, and some snacks. But there's there was a time where I was like, I'm just going to eat the food that's provided. And if you're kind of prepared for that going in, that definitely made things a lot easier for me as well. So if that's in somebody's means to do that, that takes a lot of packing and prep and stuff. It opens up a lot of bandwidth for yourself to not have to worry about the food situation. So if that's available to you, that's definitely an option worth considering.
Yeah, absolutely. Burning Man festivals definitely don't, because it is, pack it in, pack it out, and they don't have
Radical
for
self-reliance.
sale, for sale. But yeah, some of the other festivals definitely do, whether it's Lightning in a Bottle or Lucidity or these other festivals. One of the things also I wanted to check in with you guys about, considering you've been many, many years to Burning Man, I think one of the most important things is staying well. I know for me, right, is like my older days of pushing so hard and then having to recover for weeks. I've learned a few things. So I'm curious around some of your guys' health hacks for festival life.
Well, the health hack that I put the most energy into, I think, is taking care of my skin. And this is specific to Burning Man and the Black Rock Desert. But I find that the alkaline dust really it does a number on my body. And so I bring a new pair of gloves for every day. So I bring I buy band gloves, like color guard gloves, and I have a new pair of gloves every day. And I almost never expose my hands to the ply when I'm out, but I bring a new pair of gloves every time I go in and out of my tent or motorhome. I spray my hands with a mixture of water and vinegar, or of something that has got that pH to it, and then I put coconut oil, and I do the same thing with my pinky with coconut oil with up my nose every time. I'm constantly putting coconut oil and a vinegar spray on my skin over and over and over. And then I also, for my feet, I keep my socks on when I take a shower, and then I bring a pair of socks so that I can just take a pair of socks. I wear my socks back from the shower so they cover up in mud, and then just strip off the muddy socks and put the clean ones on so that I can just avoid the hassle of trying to wet nap your dirty feet clean.
Wow, I've never heard of that before. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Hardcore dust hack.
Yeah. One thing that would help that I found that helped definitely on the playa, but also off to just these other festivals is there are festivals, a lot of places they're held in areas that get dusty or dirty or windy and such. So so when you're at a festival for a couple of days, like you will if you blow your nose, you will be horrified by by the results you get from that. So what helped me was they actually make like a saline gel and a saline spray for your nose. So I would start using that, and that kept myself feeling that kept my head feeling nice and clear, nice and clean, because that dust will it gets everywhere, like literally everywhere. So that would help me kind of keep my sinuses clear. And when your sinuses clear, I just tend to be in a much better mood for that. So and speaking of face stuff, definitely chapstick, and have it like on a clip or something, or just someplace that that you reduce the chance of losing it. So they make these like little like carrot chapsticks with like carabiners on that. So that's something that I would make use of as well, for
Oh
sure.
yeah, I actually this last trip I realized one of my favorite hacks is actually bringing about 5 to 8 different chapsticks and putting them
Mm,
in all my different pocket belts. I have like multiple pocket belts. I have a holster. I have a pouch next to my bed, and that way I'm not like, wait, where's my
where is it? Yeah.
chapstick? There's always one available. Same thing
Yes.
with little mini lighters, because people are always like, do you have a lighter? And then they take it. So you bring one, and then you're like kind of screwed if somebody takes it. So I bring multiples and then give those out.
Mhm.
And then also to kind of go back to what a couple of things that you guys mentioned. So the saline spray, yes, amazing. And also, I actually have loved bringing a vintage handkerchief. You know how like the old school handkerchiefs are like really nice and
Yeah. Yeah.
cool? It's like dry boogies. out
Mm,
there. And like, I don't want to be like picking my nose, but like, I just got a boogie to get out. Like, okay, handkerchief is like always a really fun things to just have.
mm,
And then, also to kind of spark off of your hand protection, this became a hack, but also an offering. Last year on the playa, one of my gifts was hand treatment. So I created this little pouch that had about four different small spray bottles in it. One was with water and tea tree. And so that's like a cleaner. So you can spray your hands off to get clean. And then I think I did rose water for moisturizing. So you could do it on your hands and your face. And then I had aloe. So that's really great for skin and for the cuticles. And then shea butter. And so it was like a continuous practice of like cleaning and moisturizing and just really making sure that my hands and cuticles, mine were staying well. And then would be noticing if I would be out on the playa and like look at people's hands, if somebody's hands were looking pretty gnar, like I have something for you. And it
mm.
was so fun to be able to like connect with somebody and just massage their hands and clean them off and tend to their cuticles. It was like one of my favorite hacks and offerings last year.
That's
That's
nice.
beautiful.
That's nice.
You know, with your idea of having multiple chapsticks, I think that another hack that I like to make sure that I have a go-to bag with all the things that I need, but I make sure that I have a daytime and a nighttime bag because there are things that you always want at night that you don't need in the day, like flashlights or lights and things like that. And those are just too heavy to carry around all the time. But if you just know that this is where you're going to put all your stuff for night, or this is where you're going to have stuff for day, um, that's helpful to have that in advance so you have repeat and doubles.
Hmm. Yeah, one thing leapfrogging off of or not leapfrogging, but piggybacking on that is when it comes to hand, there are a couple of uh form, practical fashion things or practical a practical use of a couple of things is wigs do a good job of like they make you look great and they protect your hair, they protect your scalp, and because after a week, especially on the playa, but after a week in the festival or on the playa, your hair is going to just be like it's going to be like super dried out, super mess, but wearing a wig a good amount of the time goes a long way for that. So that's a good something to consider. And also one thing, like Betsy was mentioning, the hands of the cuticles. When you're out in the festival, you're outdoor doing most of the things and using your hands a lot, your fingernails get really dirty, and so you can like clean your fingernails out. There have been times where I clean my fingernails out and an hour later I'll just happen to look and they're filthy. I'm just like, I just cleaned my fingernail. What is happening here? A good way to kind of like out of sight out of mind, paint your nails some fun color, and then this way they'll always look colorful even though there might be some like some nastiness underneath there. You'll get around to cleaning it and it won't, at least it won't look like it an hour after you clean it. It's like your nails will look great, and you can get away with like once or twice a cleaning a day without having to be this constant like like attending to your stuff. So
Totally.
those are two good tips.
I love that. I went through that this weekend and like had my own little process around like my nails, and this girl actually gave me some really great just reframing around the microbiome of the forest being under the fingernails and like just embracing it and really recognizing that everybody has dirty fingernails. It's just
Yes.
part of being in the nature.
Yeah, there's
Um,
there's definitely something to be said for just you're in it, embrace it. It's like this is part of it. It's you can definitely reframe it and learn to love it no matter how
mhm.
dirty you might be.
Totally. And you know what? One of my other favorite festival hacks too, and camping in general, is spray bottles. So, like, having a shower is not as accessible as it is in our day-to-day life. And so I love being able to bring a spray bottle that I can spray my face right when I wake up, or I could even just take, some rose water or different sprays to kind of like feel fresh. And then even for cleaning, one of my favorite cleaning hacks while at the festival is using a specific type of essential oil that is antibacterial. It is through doTERRA called On Guard, or it's a Young Living is called Thieves, and it's a blend of rosemary, orange, eucalyptus, clove, cinnamon, and you can use it on your dishes, you can use
Mm,
it on just like cleaning surfaces, you can even spray it on your teeth and your mouth, and it cleans your teeth. It smells amazing. So that's like one of my all-time favorite festival hacks because, even a dishwashing station can be really challenging, because you got to be in awareness of your water consumption, and
mm,
simplifying things is a really important thing. So those are a couple of those. And then the other one that I wanted to kind of piggyback off of your around the wigs. I mean, you got me starting to think about costumes. And one of the things I love doing with my accoutrement, my accessories, my clothing, and jewelry and that sort of thing is when I arrive, if I'm in a tent or a RV, I like to put things out as if they're decorations too. And so it's not just like wearing them, but like, oh, okay, I can like hang some of my flow toys up in our tent, and it becomes this colorful contribution. Or like hanging my jewelry up in the tent, and it's like I can look at it and it's beautiful when I wake up. So like finding multi-purpose for the things that we bring, not just to wear, but having it as decor.
Can we talk about bathroom bags? Because I think that's important. The porta potty experience, if you prepare for it, it can make your festival and your burning man experience so much better. So I recommend everybody have a bag that you just grab whenever you go to a porta potty that has uh, if you use wet naps, have wet naps in it, but also have a bag in it that you can put your used wet naps. Because if you are unaware, porta potties, if it doesn't come out of your body, it can't go in the potty. And I'll be honest, I didn't know that when I was first Burning Man. I thought porta potties were magic. I thought you just could throw anything in there and they would deal with it. So
mm.
if it doesn't come out of your body, it doesn't go in the potty. Super important. But that doesn't mean you can't, make your experience better by having wet naps with you, a bag that you can put that in. And I will speak out of line because I have a penis attached to my body, but I have heard such amazing things for having a funnel. If you're a woman and, well, excuse me, if you do not have a penis and you have to use a porta potty, you are in a situation of having to sit because you can't use a little urinal thing. If all you have to do is pee and you still have to sit, you have to deal with the horrific situation, depending on when it's been cleaned. But if you have a shiwi or something like that, you can use the urinal and avoid the sitting at all, which is, trust me, as someone who has able to use the urinal when the porta potties are terrible, you will be happy that you have that option.
Yeah,
Oh
that,
yeah, and
yeah.
those are great in nature too. Right. I have a pee funnel that I keep in my car when I'm going on long road trips and stuff like that to be able to go in nature, or if like a festival you're going to has tons of trees and everything. It also saves so much with like as a female bodied person to be able to have, access with all my layers and costumes. It's a thing. So
Mm,
yeah, definitely a pee funnel. Like that is one of the most supreme hacks,
yeah,
or
yeah.
shiwi that you called it. That's cute.
Yeah, my partner swears by it, and I know enough women who that this is an essential piece of equipment that you just have to have. And it's good for hiking. It's good. You just have to have. It's just something you should have. And I've said I've too many women in my life that like absolutely swear by it and love it. So it's something that every woman should, or everybody without a penis, uh, should take advantage of that for sure.
The other pee-based equipment that I have to encourage is a jug, a pee jug. If you are going to have to get up from your tent in the middle of the night and go walk to a porta potty and deal with a porta potty, I never do that anymore. I always bring a jug. In fact, I shop around in advance for a good jug. Kitty litter, for example, make a kitty litter container is a great one, or a detergent bottle is a great one. And then you just use it in your tent, and then you carry the whole thing and you dump it. I also, since I've been using a pee jug for a long time, I recommend bringing some uh, of like RV tank deodorizer, the like blue stuff that you see in a porta potty. And if you have a little of that, then you can keep your jug smelling nice, even as your urine bakes in the sun over days and days and days.
Yeah, that's a strong hack to have, because it's like that middle of the night, like having to get up out of your tent or leave your whatever your living situation is, to go find a porta potty, or just to go like out, just to leave your tent. It's such a hassle, and it's so easily solved with the pee jug. So however you want to navigate that for yourself, it's definitely something worth doing.
It makes my
Yeah.
life so much better that I have one in my car at all times. I have one under my desk
Yeah.
right now. Right now, I have one. I'm holding it up if you're watching our YouTube,
Oh
channel.
my gosh. It has a picture of you on it too. Oh
Well,
my
I want to
gosh.
make sure that I don't actually drink it. Yes. So that's another one. If you do use like an old Gatorade bottle, put a whole bunch of duct tape on it with like crossbones and skull and crossbones, because often people use an old
Yes.
bottle that you used to drink, and then I'll just say it's
Oops.
happened. It's happened.
It happened, yeah. But draw a skull and crossbones on the lid, something along those lines.
Totally. I love that. Well, you know what? I really love what you shared around of the porta potty bag. Right? You like have your little special pouch that you bring every time. And that actually I want to kind of just trail off of that, because I am definitely a pouch packer. I love little pouches. So I have pouches for all of my things, and it creates a really awesome system for my process of being at the festival, or also even in traveling. So like for example, I have a nighttime pouch that goes right next to my bed. It never moves. It always has the same things in it, and it's always, chapstick. It is like my little face wet wipes. It has a little spray bottle. It might have like a mint or a cough drop, a throat spray, and my wellness formula tincture, because right before I go to bed, I love to make sure that I have all those little things. And then I also have other pouches for other things. Like I have a pouch for little gifties that has little stickers in it, or little magnets, or like little trinkets that I like to give away, or crystals. And then I have a pouch that has my other wellness stuff in it, right? That always has the cough drops, or it has the throat sprays, or it has the things that I know that I need to stay well, maybe allergy medicine, or nose spray, right? So all of my pouches are essential. And then throughout the experience, the main thing that's I've learned is keeping everything in their perspective pouches, because I think we've probably all been there. For anyone that has been to Burning Man and has, like, the tornado moment in your tent or in your RV, where you're like trying to find that one thing, and then you're like pulling everything out to find that one thing, and then you find that one thing, and then you look around and all your stuff is everywhere, and then you can't really find anything.
Mm,
It turns into like a chaos moment. So I have found, yeah, those pouches are really helpful. And then also, what I love doing is bringing one of those little plastic drawer bin kind of things, like that has the multiple drawers. And then that way, I always can pull those drawers out and have, like, whether it's like Sharpies or scissors or tape, or these little things that are, or rope, or like my pocket knife, to be able
mm,
to stay organized throughout the experience, has provided actually a lot more time for me to get to play in the festival, and not spend so much time looking for something or trying to figure out where I, need to, put things. It's
yeah.
just like keeping the systems provides a lot more freedom to play.
Yeah, yeah, and it's easy to get frustrated when you're having trouble finding something, or you're in a state of mind that makes it easy to lose things. So kind of that, yeah, setting yourself up for success and getting some organization in the beginning, planning stages. So once you're set, you're good to go. It definitely frees you up to have more fun, because that tent tornado is really tough to recover from, because like once your tent gets tossed, it was kind of never going to be the same after that. It's like things will just end up shoved in the corner, and you just can't be bothered with it. So have a system to start off organized, and that will allow you to stay organized. Whether that's the plastic drawers, you know that Betsy suggested, is a great idea. Pouches, like the Ziploc baggies, like whatever, keep things from getting loose in your space, will definitely help keep the tornado shenanigans from happening. So you mentioned something, Betsy. Go ahead, Halcyon.
I'll say, in addition to like having things out post tornado, especially at Burning Man, because the dust is so fine, anything that is out is going to have some dust on it. So if you can keep things packed away in their bags, in their bins, in their Ziplocs, at least you keep it from acquiring that level of dust. And along those lines, I also suggest that putting a once I'm off the playa outfit in a
Mm,
Ziploc bag, so that when you get to Reno, you can put something on that doesn't have dust on it, is so nice. Because you're even something that you didn't wear and is clean is going to be dusty after it's been in your tent all week, whether or not you had a tornado experience or not. So just having something that you never never open it, just stash it and know that that's what you're going to wear once you get your first shower is super nice.
hmm
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, having that clean pair of underwear, those clean socks that don't get busted out until you're like on your way home or like that last day is so key. Yeah, so good. Speaking to that, there is a friend of mine. I went to visit her like maybe my third year on the playa, and she had an RV, but she had all her outfits were in vacuum sealed bags that were like labeled like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and was just like, and it took up no space at all, because after seeing somebody's setup, like, or it's easy for your like this massive wardrobe and these massive bins. It takes clothes and boots and all that, takes up a lot of space. So when you can get your clothes like in these vacuum sealed bags, like her whole like week's worth of outfits took up like this much space. Like it was just like handled, and that was like, I was like, wow, that is genius level like preparation. So if it seems like a luxury, but if you have access to like a vacuum sealer with these bags, putting your outfits for the week or the weekend in there seems like a great
You know
idea.
what? I thought about that recently, but then I was like, what happens if then on your way back, do you have to bring a vacuum? Because otherwise everything's just going to be bigger on the way back. You open everything up. You just have to have to deal with figuring out how to get it
Just
back in the bins, even though you don't have you like use your mouth.
right. Yeah, do that. Suck it, Betsy.
That could be a Burning Man gift, is you drive around and suck out people's vacuums.
Exactly.
You know,
Bring it back.
another just to keep in mind, if you do have a plan of bringing your outfits day by day by day, oh yes, make a plan. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because you just never have any idea what the weather's going to be like. And so if you are thinking things through about outfits, I think it's good to think of like things that work together. If you have a single color for each day, then you're kind of confined to what that is. But if you have like a jacket and a bunch of shirts and a bunch of hot pants that all kind of work together, then you can layer and still have a cool outfit, and not just have the tragedy of not being able to wear your favorite thing.
Hmm.
That is a tragedy. Betsy mentioned something that got me thinking about, as far as like the stuff to pack. Gosh, now I forget what it was you mentioned, but you mentioned something about having something that you were going to share with the people. So that kind of reminds me about the idea of like, okay, so we're taking care of ourselves now. How do we're taking care of our food, our porta potty accessories, and all their other stuff, our personal fashion. How do we prepare to participate? How do we prepare to engage with our community? So what are some good things? And you're super good at that, Betsy. I remember your bringing and setting up the creation stations back in the day, and you always made it easy to for yourself and for others to actually to engage in the community. So you kind of strike me as the maven for uh, festival community participation and engagement. So what you got for us?
Yes, I love it. I definitely do have a lot of different hacks for creating participation and engagement and bridging that connection. And it really actually comes from overcoming some of my social anxieties, wanting to connect with people, but not really enjoying small talk. And so I have found these tools to be able to bridge that gap. So I first started off with paints. So face painting is something that is very common in the festival culture. Everybody wants their face painted. It's like we're all little kids here to play, and we want to be colorful and adorned. And so I use these markers called tribal markers, which are made for the body. They're made out of plants, and those are a really fun way to meet people and connect with people. And then make an offering. And then another thing that I love bringing is sound instruments. So little bells or a little tongue drum or some kind of instrument because there's inevitably going to be people playing instruments, and it's always fun to just like pop into a jam session. Or like I love offering people little sound attunements, like a little rattle, and asking somebody if they want a like kind of be playful. But would you like a brain massage? And they're like, "Oh, what's a brain massage?" I'm like, "Okay, close your eyes and just listen." And then I'll use like a rattle and a little chime and give people an experience to just like go inward and feel the sound just like vibrating inside their brain. And then like it's always so beautiful because then people can open their eyes and like, "Wow, that was a journey."
Mm.
Um, so those are a couple of the tools, and then also massage tools. So I have like a little massager that like gets knocked out. That's always a fun thing because especially at festivals because all the travel and the packing and the unloading and everything, everybody's back is like feeling it. And so giving little massages are another really great way to create engagement, participation. Um, those are just my top three, I'd say.
Hmm.
I love those. I love that you said you're gifting them an experience. I think that like really this main participation tool I think that makes it so easy is when you find something to gift. And the gifting is something that's difficult to really go to your first festival and know like what would be a good gift, but you can do your best. You can try an easy one. Like before I even discovered Burning Man, I remember going to raves and bringing a bag of lollipops for the same reason that you described, Betsy. Is like it would help me to get over social anxiety and you can approach someone and sit and open up a connection with a little offering. Even if they don't want the lollipop, it's a way to begin the interaction and the connection. And so, but as you start to realize like what would make this experience better in any situation, it could be to go back to porta potties. It could be, what? I have extra TP. I brought extra TP. I'm going to stand in front of the porta potties that I know are out of TP and just give people a roll, enough that they could use. And part of the fun of like really getting gifting is it's the attitude of like looking around. How can I make this better? How could I make this better? And if you can do that, then and then the other thing is what you touched on about experiences. So I like to give away like stickers or pins. And as I started to give away pins, I had like 6 different versions of sayings that I liked. And so I would put them in a bag. And instead of going, "Would you like a pin?" I would walk up to people, go clang, 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 jangle it, and go, "Would you like to hear what the Oracle has to say for you?" Like, okay, think of something, and like, and then I would reach in and give them a pin. So it's the same thing as giving someone a pin, but it's an experience, just like a brain massage. So like and you can just, I mean, that might be a lot of pressure to like jump into improv right off the bat, but I think giving yourself permission this is the place to allow yourself to have fun, and people will so appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. The key through line here for the participation is the experience. There's a lot of, because it's easy to like, yeah, it's a gifting culture. So I want to give somebody something, but I've had my own process with this where I was happy to get stuff, but after a certain while it's just more stuff for me to bring home with me. And so when somebody comes up, like I enjoy my stickers, like somebody wants to give me a sticker, that's fine. Somebody wants to give me whatever thing, that's okay. But there's other times where I'm just like, I don't want something I need to carry with me. I don't want something I need to keep track of. So but making, at least couch it in having experience. Like Halcyon's idea of like the Oracle has to say that's fun. Okay, yes, I'm going to walk away from that experience with a pin. I'm going to be like, yes, awesome, as opposed to somebody just handing me something. It's like, yeah, make an experience around it. I saw somebody. Betsy mentioned the sound thing, the musical thing. I saw somebody. She had a bunch of these like shaker eggs, the small little thing that you could just shake. It's like a little like rattle or whatever. there's some music happening, and she would hand out a couple of these things. And I kind of watched how one girl like got given the shaker, because she's like, oh, okay. She was just kind of standing there, and then she gave it to her, and she's like, oh, cool. And so she's shaking along with the music that's happening, and she just got moving around. And I saw her like meeting people that she would not have met had she not had this shaker egg, and just like having this whole different experience around that. And the idea, I think my friend was like, wasn't expecting to like give those away, just like shake it for a while, but then like, I was gonna get it back, but she quickly realized like, yeah, I don't get those back. So, but they're cheap enough, so she was like, oh, fine, she's like, I just need to bring more next time. Is that was the big issue. So she's like, she just didn't bring enough. So you get a lot out of that. Like the gifter gives something out of that, and you're creating a whole new experience for somebody. Based on the idea, like, okay, if we're going to give somebody a thing, how is that going to enhance their experience? So that's an important consideration when we're going to be doing any sort of gifting out there.
Yeah. I mean, what you really want is you want that gift to be a symbol that brings someone back to a memory of a connection. Like I often will tell people at my camp who enthusiastically want to give away stickers, and we have a lot. And so they'll put them out at our water bar and I'm like, no. We don't lay out this like we're a trade show and we're trying to give away marketing material. We want these to be a representative of a moment in time. We want someone to go, hey, welcome to our camp. How you like this? Would you like a sticker? And then sticker becomes it reminds them of this experience, which is, same item, totally different access point to your heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Totally. I love that. And you know what? I think you and I, Halcyon, have a similar joy of stickers. I love making stickers of myself and giving them away. Like this last trip, I actually made a sticker on Sticker Mule that was like of me in this fun pose. And it was really fun to give it to the people that I had a really deep connection with, that I just met, especially because, when you're at a festival, you meet certain people and you're like, oh, I just love you so much. And then it's like, oh, now you have a pocket sized version, and I'm going to like travel with you on your water bottle. I'm like, I just love that so much. Like, I have a sticker of you, Halcyon, in your superhero outfit. And every time I look at it, I'm like, that's my superhero friend. I think that's a really fun way to do it. And you can do it really inexpensively too. Just a little hack too with the stickers. Sticker Mule is always giving away really great deals. So when you sign up on their email, they like just send out these really, really great discounts, which is really fun way to have stickers with you all the time. And then also just kind of piggyback off of what you're sharing around what you're giving away. So, and to consider like, how can I enhance the moment and enhance someone's experience? One of the things I've learned is like, instead of giving away something like a treat of like candy or something like that, like I personally don't really eat candy or sugar, but I really care about my health. And so I always carry cough drops with me, because a lot of times, especially on the playa, you will meet somebody and they're like, hey, it's so great to meet you. And you're like, wow, this person has been smoking a lot, has probably been talking a lot, hooting and hollering. And I love being able to go like, oh, hey, would you like this lozenge? And they're like, oh, yes, actually. And so I always carry cough drops with me. And then also for my personal use, and some people I will share with, is a throat spray to coat the throat. Throat coat is just so lovely when you're out traveling and talking and screaming over loud music. And yeah, they're like wellness based products that are easy, are some of my favorite things to create engagement and share, and also use for myself throughout the experience.
Mm-hmm. You had mentioned like the rose water like face spray. There's been numerous times that I've been like out and about on a festival, and somebody comes up, can I give you like a little rose water? And like they don't even have to finish their spiel. Yes. Ideally they know exactly how much to put on there, so I don't need a towel afterwards. But yeah, that's definitely a good way to kind of refresh somebody's experience. Even if they're unsure, it's like, yeah, a little like, would you like some, however you present it, obviously, give them the option and the choice, as opposed to just walking around spraying people. But most people are going to be open to that. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
important.
definitely. Yeah. Inquire.
Because consent is important for all things. There's things that in one situation could be incredible without consent or horrible. Like you might think, oh, a spritz of cool water feels so good right now, so I'm just going to spray the people that are walking by or riding by. Don't do that, because there's a million reasons why people might not want that. And that goes with everything. So I think it's just a good idea. Whenever you're giving a gift, you got to make sure that somebody wants it.
Yes. There's a friend of ours, Dax, who, has these electrified gloves, vibrating gloves that would be and I've seen him be pretty good about offering, like, he never just pounces on somebody like with this. It feels amazing, but there's always like, hey, so would you like a vibrating hand like neck massage, come for a minute, and people are like, yes, like when you hear it, like, yes, as opposed to all of a sudden you got these vibrations happening on your shoulder. No, that's that's not good. So yeah, the even if the experience, yes, the inquiry first, like, would you like this, would you like this, that's just common sense, but common sense is often not so common out in these festival weekends and festival weeks. So yes, the inquiry is important.
I want to share another quick hack too before we kind of start moving towards our closing sparks. So I went camping to this festival with this amazing woman she's probably one of the most inspiring packers of anyone I've ever camped with. So she brought these really awesome beanbag chairs. So they're like poof beanbag chairs. She brought like 8 of them. And I was like, oh my God, it was a game changer for our camping experience. Instead of the camping chairs, because you could actually like lay back on them and lounge, and you can place them in all different ways. So like the beanbag poof experience was like a total up level of the camp setup. And then the other thing she brought, that at first I was like, are you sure these take up a lot of space? And she was like, these are definitely a necessity. They're called light cubes. And she has like, I don't know, 3 different sizes. One is a big one, and then the medium and the small ones, and they're rechargeable. And she just placed them all around our camp. Instead of like these bright lanterns, we had these color changing light cubes. And it was like an essential part of our camp. You could see it from far away. It gave just the right amount of ambience when we were in the camp. And I will say those are the most recent camping experience, like next level for my continued festivaling.
Mm-hmm. I'll look those up.
Yeah.
So cool.
Oh, one more. Actually, I learned about a jackery. A jackery is a battery. Basically, it's a solar powered battery. You charge it up before you go. It's quite small. Maybe you can get different sizes, but my girlfriend and I shared a tent this weekend, and it was charged at 100% the first day we got there. We were there for 4 days, and we charged our phones, we charged our other rechargeable things throughout the weekend. And by the end of it, we still had like 60% battery left. So I think they're like maybe $300 to $500 little batteries, and it comes with solar panels if you want to recharge it. But the Jackery was like kind of next level experience for the camping.
Mm-hmm. That's actually worth giving a little bit of attention to. Those like battery packs. It's like, because generators are something that you use for like the bigger major kind of things, but having something like that you can charge up your stuff with in your tent is key. And that sounds like a good one. They make those for much, like, there's like $100 ones like by Otterbox and such, that is enough to power a laptop if you need that power. Certainly recharge, keep your phone charged, and charge up with like Bluetooth speakers, things like that. Like a lot of those things are pretty essential as well. It just definitely helps your whole experience. So yeah.
Yeah, totally. Oh, I have one more. I'm sorry. There's like so many sparks flying because I just came from this festival.
Yeah.
So this last weekend, I actually for the first time used noise canceling headphones. And so I
Mm.
got these really cushy ones. And I put on this sound playlist of sound bowls. So it's like 18 hours or something straight of sound bowls.
Mm.
And I put it on and played through the night and through the morning because, when you're in a tent, of course, inevitably there's going to be a lot of loud sounds coming from the stages. And then plus people walking by that are just super chatty, chatty, chatty. And I will say these noise canceling headphones with the sound bowls or the white noise helped so much. It does help that I'm a back sleeper. I sleep on my back, but I still actually with the pillow, I was able to lay on my side too with these noise canceling headphones. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to go to any festivals without those from now on. Way better than earplugs for me.
Yeah, the right headphones you actually can like sleep on your side with. They're pretty cushy. So yeah. So to wrap it up, Betsy, what do you get? Any closing sparks for us, or do we? How do we want to do this?
Yeah, totally. Like
Okay.
we should close it up because we could probably just keep going and going
Yeah,
and
yeah.
going. Obviously, I'm very inspired.
Mm.
All right, I'll close it up with one of my favorite hacks for staying well that it took me some time to learn is to prioritize my morning tonic and evening drink. And so what I've learned is I bring a little thing of GSE, which is grapefruit seed extract.
Oh yeah.
It's an all natural immunity booster, and you just put like 10 drops in your water. I do that in the morning, and then lemon. So I always make sure to have my good boost in the morning, and then sometimes those little green powder packets and mix that in there because sometimes you don't get your greens in when you're out there. Chlorophyll, like liquid chlorophyll, is another really great one just to keep the immunity high and just feeling good. And then magnesium powder at night. So those things have really helped enhance my staying well experience. Where back in the day, I didn't really know how to take care of my body out in the environment, and now so those are definitely essential festival hacks to keep me feeling good and enjoy the experience.
Oh, one more thing. Oh, one more thing. Wait. Oh, one more thing. No, I have so many things. So I've actually been making, tips and tricks videos for Burning Man preparation and for years. And so I actually have a whole website. So my farewell hack would be some links to go deeper. One is playaprinciples.com. And then the other is a multi-part boot camp for Burning Man that I have out that we'll put the link in the show notes. That's got part one is planning and preparation. Then the second one is just about the principles. Third is about how to be a good burner. Fourth is things to know about Black Rock City. And there's a bonus one about how to have your romantic relationship last on Playa. So, and the other thing I want to say is that we
That's
would
this whole episode.
yeah, that we would love to hear if there's great hacks that you have. Let us know. We will leave a link as well for a place that you can share with us. I think this is a part one of our ongoing series of festival hacks, and we'd love to get your input and include you in a future episode.
Cool. And to kind of reiterate with what Betsy left us off with, it's the health and your health and well-being on a festival has got to be your priority, because it doesn't matter what you look like or the experiences you're trying to share. If you're not feeling good, or if you're waking up not feeling great, not beyond the point of just hungover, like if you don't take care of your health and well-being during these festivals, it kind of defeats the whole purpose, and you're not going to get all you can get out of it. So focusing on your health and well-being needs to be the priority number, the first thing and last thing that you are preparing for. So yeah, those morning tonics are great. The magnesium at the end. Bring your multivitamins, even if you're not like a multivitamin guy or person. There's something to be said for even just bringing this stuff to the festival weekend, or for the festival week, to Burning Man or whatever. Mushrooms are a great thing, like functional mushrooms. Lion's mane is a fantastic supplement to bring. So anything that's going to help you keep you healthy, help with your immunity. I'm not a big Tylenol guy, but I have definitely wanted and appreciated just some headache relief if I'm out on the festival thing, doing my thing. Some aspirin has definitely saved me on more than one occasion out there. I don't take it as a regular thing, and I certainly don't take it when I'm home, but I've taken advantage of it on the playa. So yeah, so prioritize your health and well-being, whatever you're going to do for that. Pay attention to that and make that be the first and last thing you plan for when you're going out there.
Yes, I love it. Oh my gosh, I love this conversation so much, and I think that the biggest closing spark is that we could just keep going. And so who knows,
Mm,
maybe we will create a second edition of this topic. And yeah, like Halcyon said, yes, please send us a message out there if you have any of your own festival hacks, and also if you have any requests for topics for us to chat about. We always love hearing from you guys, so please send us a message. And we always love to close it out with letting you guys know how you can find us. So, Halcyon, you want to start us off and share how everyone can find you?
Sure. I am available at johnstin.com, JOHNSTYN.com. It has links to my t-shirt store and my YouTube channel, my books, and speaking of stickers, and a free sticker offer. So connect with me through johnstin.com.
Hey, love the free stuff. All right,
mhm.
how about you, Janus?
You can find me and my offerings in the world at newworldnutritionals.com. That's spelled NU worldnutritionals.com. And our main product is a microdose product that is helping a lot of people improve their focus, learning ability, helping to relieve symptoms of anxiety, depression, PTSD, ADHD as well. And yeah, it's mushroom-based products designed to improve your state of mind. You can get more information at newworldnutritionals.com and use the code SPARKED for 10% off of any of our products.
Amazing. Yes, and you can bring them to the festivals.
Indeed, indeed.
Awesome. And you can find me on my website as well, finklehoo.com, and also poweraffirmation.com, where you can learn more about my healing work as a body worker, energy worker, and intuitive empowerment coach. You can also learn more about the Power Affirmation Project, which is really using tools to be able to enhance more insight on who you are, reprogramming limiting beliefs, and living life from a more embodied affirmation, through journaling, through meditation, through breath work, through wonderful ways of being able to just live more aware of how impactful our thoughts are on our lives. So, yeah, you can use Sparked in the shop for 10% off. And then also in the show notes, you can get a free download of an audio affirmation that helps build trust in life. So, check that out, the link in the comments. And we can close it out with an affirmation,
Yes,
shall we?
please. Yes, please.
Please, please.
All right, I'm going to keep it super simple. Just based on this conversation around traveling and going to festivals, one of my favorite affirmations to help me prepare for an event, especially when there's just so much to do and we're doing a lot of heavy lifting, the affirmation is, "It's all worth it. It's all worth it. It is all worth it." So if you like, you can close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just tune in. It is all worth it. It's all worth it. All of the effort that I'm putting forth into what I'm doing is going to be so worth it. And it is all coming together. It is so worth it. It is so worth it. And then, even at the end of the festival, connecting to that space of, it was so worth it. It was so worth it. It was so worth all of the efforts that I'm putting forth into making this possible. So, sending much love to all of you out there. Thank you, Janus and Halcyon, for getting in these beautifully inspiring conversations. And let's keep spreading these sparks, shall we?
Thank you, Betsy. Let's stay sparked, people.